topic I've actually wanted to do for a while. Embarrassing gym stories, because we've all had incidents at the gym, I'm sure. Sure, we've all ripped a horrible fart during a leg press or a squat, or even worse. So I'm gonna share one that's really embarrassing from my own personal gym history. The year was 1991. A lot of you weren't even born yet, I know, but I was at Gold's Gym Venice that year, and it was like being a kid in a candy store. I had just come from Boston to Los Angeles that January, 1991. And all these pros were at Gold's, all the guys that I had been seeing in the magazines for the past few years, here they were in real life training. Wow. So Steve Brisbois happened to be in there one day. For those who don't know who he was, it's Brsbois, Brisbois. He was from Canada. Turned pro as a bantamweight. I don't think he was ever more than about 150 pounds on stage. He's probably, I want to say he was like 5'2", 150, something like that. Beautiful shape and symmetry. And, there was no lightweight class back then. So he was always up there with the guys who were, 200, 250, and he held his own. He got some good placings over the years. Anyway, the point is, this guy was he was a pro. He had done well. I wanted to impress him. So I'm sitting there training at a bench next to him, and I'm doing skull crushers with an easy curl bar. And I was very strong on those at the time. Maybe my form wasn't the greatest at times because I was trying to use a lot more weight. I was 21 years old. So, I warm up with a 45 on each side of the bar, no problem, 10, 12 reps. Slap a 25 on there because, Steve's right next to me. I want him to see how strong I am. I think he'd actually, this is probably 92. I think I had actually met him at the Pro Ironman he'd competed at. It doesn't matter. We had met because I was with the American Muscle Show on ESPN. Anyway, I proceed to put a second 45. So we got two 45s on an easy curl bar. So that's 180 pounds with the plates. I don't know if the bar was like 25 pounds. Anyway, it was too damn heavy for me. Now, you should also know at this time, it was 1991 because I had a mullet. Business in front, party in the back. Short on top, and in the back, for some reason, my hair, even though it's never been curly, the tail part, the mullet part, it was like naturally curly. It was about that long. It was, if it hadn't been curly, it would have gone halfway down my back. Because it was curly, it shortened it up. So anyway, it was about this much curly hair in the back, okay? So anyway, here I am pressing away. Didn't ask for a spot or anything. And I got stuck. I got stuck right here. And I sort of like just moved my head out of the way just enough so I didn't actually crush my skull. These are called skull crushers. And I set the bar down. I was like, oh, thank God I didn't hurt myself. And I sat up and ripped that ponytail mullet right off the back of my head. Ooh. And Steve Brisbois was right next to me, horrified. He's like, are you okay, dude? Are you okay? And I'm playing it off. But, it hurt. It hurt. I had a big chunk of hair just ripped out of my scalp. I don't think it was bleeding. I think it tore at the hair, not at the scalp. So it wasn't bloody or anything yet, but it was very, very embarrassing. Man, I'll share one more story, and I want to see if you guys have any. I hope you have some stories for me. It's not just the typical what's a good beginner steroid cycle questions. Second story I'll share with you is from about the same era. So we had hosts on this American Muscle Show every month. We used to rotate hosts, or sometimes it would be a host that would keep hosting the show for months and months on end. At the time I'm telling of this story I'm telling, the host was a female bodybuilder named Diane Garrity from Ohio. Very wholesome, sweet woman. I'm 21 or 22. She was probably like 30 at the time. Had a little crush on her. Yeah, I was married, but I still had little crushes on people. I was, 21, 22-year-old kid. Anyway, I'd see her at Gold's Venice from time to time. This one time I happened to be training legs, and on the way to the gym, it was about a half-hour drive from where I lived out in the San Gabriel Valley. Take the 10 freeway west. It was about a half hour with no traffic. I ate an entire bag of grapes to carb up on. Grapes, like green grapes. So I thought that'd be a good idea. Get carb up for my leg workout. So I don't know how many exercises in. I was doing hack squats. I was very, very strong at hack squats always. Went up to like 6, 7 plates on the side. I'm banging out reps. It's probably like my 4th or 5th work set. And about 2 or 3 reps shy of failure, I felt my stomach. I felt I was going to throw up. I was like, uh-oh. Thank God there was a bathroom. This was the first room in Venice, for those of you who know Gold's. the first room, and there happened to be a bathroom right there, and thank God it wasn't locked. Nobody was in there. I ran in there and hurled my guts out and came back, you know, green, finished the workout, but Diane was there. Diane, I was showing off for Diane because she was working on the leg press next to me. It always happened when I was showing off, doing dumb shit. So, you know, she could hear, I think she could hear, even though the music was on, vomiting is very loud. She knew I had thrown up, but yeah. Anyway, so that's my embarrassing stories. I'll start off. I hope you guys have some stories. I hope it's not just me and then, you know, you're asking about testosterone or cycles, shit like that. Let's see. Ah, damn it. I knew you weren't going to have any stories for me. Oh, well, what do I expect? It's asking. Edwin Calderon, who you got winning the Arnold UK? That show will be very competitive. I'd have to look at the lineup. I know I should know the whole lineup off the top of my head. Give me a few favorites, and I'll tell you who I think probably is the best. Davenport barbell, Scott Davenport. Ripped my jeans completely down the back, thinking I was Dave Draper, squatting my jeans. That was a long walk to the gym. I can imagine, yeah. I can't even imagine trying to squat in jeans unless, you know, I have these jeans now that we found that are like stretchier, but back, you know, old regular jeans, oof. I feel for you, Scott. Thank you for having a story. Sultan Cat, better than Ramondino? Oh, you guys are all talking about, you're arguing about classic guys. Edgar Calderon says worse. What? I lost it. Hang on, let me go back. How do I get back up? Sorry, guys. Edgar, that's why I only use machines and dumbbells. Too risky to do barbell movements, especially with heavy loads if you have long femurs and long torso. Yeah, certain movements, you know, if you don't have a spotter, certain things you definitely don't want to do. I wouldn't do bench presses. I definitely wouldn't do decline bench presses, incline. No barbell benching, flat, incline, decline. I wouldn't do any of that without a spotter because you can't go to failure. You could easily get stuck. Skull crushers, kind of the same thing. If you get stuck, no one's there to take the weight away and you're stuck like right here. At least squats, you can go inside a power cage or something. But yeah, I always tell people if you're on your own, you know, use dumbbells for your chest presses. Don't use the barbell because if you're stuck, you're screwed. Just screwed. Davenport again. Another good story from Scott. I was doing 200-pound barbell cheek curls like Arnold. Good Lord, once. This guy came to warn me I was going to get injured. I told him I knew what I was doing. Threw out my back so bad I had to go to ER. Throw out your back cheek curls. I thought you were going to tell me you tore a bicep because I've heard, geez, didn't Callum von Moger tear his bicep? It was him and Bumstead doing like weren't they trying to curl 405 together on a bar? And, you know, luckily Bumstead had God watching out for him, and Callum unfortunately didn't that day. Tore his bicep. Yeah, guys, there's no reason to go crazy heavy on curls. It's an accident waiting to happen. It's not going to give you big arms doing these crazy heavy cheek curls. Let's see. Here we go. Edgar Calderon. Worst gym story is when I was doing leg press as well. 4 plates on each side, my rib partially cracked. That's not too bad. I mean, imagine like there's a hot chick right next to you and you rip out this super loud fart, or even worse, shit your pants. I think, you know, I'd like to say I've never shit my pants in the gym, but a few years ago, I came down with something called C. diff. And at the time, I didn't know what it was. I just thought I had diarrhea that wouldn't go away. It was getting worse and worse. Little did I know, if I didn't go to a doctor and get like on some strong antibiotics, I could have died. C. diff, it's short for something, colostrum. It's basically this bacterial infection where they just keep multiplying billions of them inside your colon and you're shitting your brains out like 20 times a day, like blasting out diarrhea. And you get like no warning. You feel it coming on, then you better get to a bathroom or else. Yeah. So luckily, I was training at the time. I was still trying to go to the gym and I was running to the bathroom. Thank God I didn't shit my pants on the gym floor. Man, that would have been, but I mean, you know, I came very, very close. Okay. Let's see. Davenport barbell. That's Scott. I ate Jack in the Box once. They did 50 sets of leg presses. I puked at like set 27. 50 sets. Dude, that would take you all damn day. 50 sets. Okay, Edgar's got the lineup. Akeem, Hollingshead, Lionel Bakey, Nathan Asher doing the UK. Well, on paper, Nathan and Akeem would be the top picks for that, but Hollingshead's looking crazy too. Yeah, I mean, I would go Akeem, Hollingshead, or Nathan are all capable. Nathan's won a bunch of shows in the past few years. Truth says I shat my pants during heavy squats. I'm sure a ton of people have shit their pants doing squats and leg presses. I mean, think about it. the pressure on everything as you just squeeze all that weight and the pressure squeezing. Yeah, that's why, you know, I always say try to empty your bowels, take a good dump before you train legs, because if you have to poop, that's how you know I have kids. I still use the word poop. If you have to poop and you're doing heavy squats and leg presses, good luck keeping all that stuff inside your colon when it's like, you know, that's super hard, those super intense reps at the very end of the set. Our stuff, I was doing pulley rows and the cord snapped. I flipped backwards. The gym employee saw it and laughed it off. All was okay. You know what's funny? I don't know how many of you guys remember. There was an amateur back when amateurs used to actually be famous named Benny Podda. Benny, Podda. Crazy strong guy. He was horrible structure. He was built like a mailbox, but he was thick, veiny, super strong, scary, intense guy. One of those guys. Anyway, I remember a story. He was from Pittsburgh, I think. He was doing cable rows, and it snapped, and he hit himself in the nose and like smashed his nose, blood all over the place, and he finished the workout because he was insane. Yeah. Kevin Clements, the guy was in short shorts and trying to impress a girl. He shit his pants doing squats. He kept going and split them on his last one. It was so nasty and funny, embarrassing. Oof. Yeah, I mean, shedding your pants when you have pants on is one thing, but if the crap is actually, you could see the crap running down your leg and smell it, ooh, that would be so embarrassing, especially next to a girl you're hoping to impress. Yeah. Kevin says, the American Muscle show on ESPN. Yeah, you must be an older gentleman like me, because that show, I worked on that show from 1991 to 98. So you'd have to be middle-aged to even remember the show. We had bodybuilding on ESPN, guys. We really did. I swear to you, it's true. You can look it up. American Muscle on ESPN. It was an hour-long show. Later, it was cut to 30 minutes, but it was awesome. Contest coverage, training segments, athlete profiles, cooking, fashion, gossip. Contest coverage, did I say that? It was awesome. You know, at the time, I was like, I didn't appreciate it at the time, but looking back, like, wow. Edgar Calderon, again, a lot of hot chicks come to my gym. I have like 5 gym crushes, but it'll probably come down to 1 depending on my personality. Yeah, there's a lot of gym. Can I say thoughts? I mean, the women that they come to the gym dressed as provocatively as possible, full hair and makeup all done, nails, not training too hard. They usually just do a lot of like hip thrusts, leg stuff, mostly legs. And they're there for attention. They want the guys to sit there and, you know, eat your heart out, boys. You can't have me. Ha. Only Chad can have me. Let's see. Davenport Barbell. Thank you guys for having stories. I'm so glad. Because I like to stay on topic whenever possible. He said, Scott says, I used to do crazy high volume workouts like Arnold. I would do those 8-hour squat workouts. Good Lord. I only used 225, but I'd be so sore. I felt like I had the flu. Yeah, nobody should be training squats for 8 hours in a day. Come on. I mean, 1 hour squats would be crazy. 8 hours of squats. You know, Arnold tells those legends, like him and his buddies used to go out in the woods and have the parties with the beer and the girls, and they'd squat out in the woods. And I don't know if that's true or not. It's a great story, though. I mean, if you're going to squat for 8 hours, that would be the way to do it, you know. Beer, chicks, and I don't know what else they had out there. Let's see. Edgar again. I laugh so hard when I see dudes in my gym do partial reps and shoulder press. They go like 2 inches down, have like 3 plates aside. Yeah, I mean, I see tons of these still. That's been going on for many years because anybody can use more weight for just a couple inches for a short range of motion, especially like the lockout. So it's a lot easier to take a squat and just go down a couple inches. It's a lot harder to go all the way down ass to grass. I mean, a lot of people can lock out. They can do these little shitty, not even half reps with like 405, but if they went all the way down, they're not getting back up. Edgar. Kevin Clements, I remember yesterday I turned 62. God bless you, Kevin. Yeah, so you are older than me. Good Lord. I'll be 53, inshallah, God willing, in September. Truth, went to the gym with stanky breath. Can't brush teeth after pre-workout gag reflex. And my gym crush asked me if I wanted a breath mint, LOL. You know, I bet a lot of us have had like, you can put deodorant on, you should. I definitely recommend deodorant, but there are times when your deodorant just, it's done. Especially if it's, the gym is hot and humid and you're doing something like legs, you probably smelled fine at the first half hour of the workout, but at a certain point in the workout, that deodorant's done. It's gone, you know, unless you have some, like I'm finding right now, the roll-on stuff isn't lasting through the workout for me. I'm like, oh, but there's that spray stuff. It's some super powerful chemical. I'm sure it's all kinds of toxins and shit in there, like aluminum, but that spray stuff seems to keep the BO away a lot longer. Yeah, stanky breath. Yeah, you know, the gas thing, all of us who eat like bodybuilders, and I think it's worse if you train later in the day and all those meals have had all day long to percolate, you're going to have a lot of gas. Just eating every 2 hours, you know, I don't know if our food really even fully digests by the time we eat again, most of us. So, you know, gas is very, very common. So a lot of us do that crop dusting thing where you'll pass gas here as you're walking and, you know, get away from it before you can be identified as a perpetrator. DJ Leader, calf raises at home when I was 16, barbell on back, toes on thick board flipped up, I fell forward, the barbell almost took my head off on the way to the floor. Yeah, I have a near-death experience story, bench pressing. I think it was senior year high school, junior year, I don't know, one of those, I think it was senior year. I'm at home alone, nobody's home, and it must have been senior year. I had the cassette Slayer, Rain in Blood, and that title track was playing, and I was doing, I don't know how much weight, doesn't matter. I got stuck with the bar on my neck. And I'm like, oh no, this satanic music is on. I'm going to die. I'm going to go to hell because I died in this horrible misfortune, this accident while satanic music was playing. So I'm definitely going to hell. Anyway, it took me a while to just, I did that thing, I think, where I rolled it down, you know, bruised my ribs, rolled it down my torso and flipped it over. It was probably like 180 pounds, nothing major, but, you know, I was like 130 pounds at the time. DJ Leader, yeah. Elias Miranda, it takes 4 hours to totally digest food. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I think it really depends on the type of food too. I mean, if you're eating something super light, like tilapia, really light, flaky, like white fish. So if you have like tilapia and some white rice, I bet 2 hours later, I don't know if it's technically fully digested, but you're starving again. For those of you who've dieted and you've had those real super lean meals like that, you know, or a little bit of chicken breast and a little bit of rice, something goes right through you. Whereas something like red meat, you know, you have a steak or God forbid, you have like a pizza, deep dish pizza, something like that. I can't eat again. I want to eat again in 2 to 3 hours, but I'm full for a good 4 hours if I have something like pizza because it's so much fat and carbs. It's like a bomb of calories and shit in your stomach. Miguel Aquino, when and how do you incorporate testosterone to the bodybuilding? If you're asking when to start steroids, you know, there's no right time. I'm not going to tell anyone to go out and start steroids, but I do believe you should have a really good natural base of size and strength first. You should have your training and nutrition really figured out. You should know how to train very well. You should have all that handled. So then when you add the steroids in, I think that's what you're asking me, you'll get much better results. I don't know what this is held for a view. Scott's thing. I don't know. We can't say balls on. I'm going to say it. He says, I remember when I was trying to get to the military, I was at MEPS and they made us duck walk across the gym. One guy had a hole in his underwear and his balls were hanging out of him. It was funny. Yeah. That is pretty funny. Jehan Amrola, that will take 12 hours deep dish pizza. I don't know if it's 12 hours, but you know. The difference between when you feel hungry, I think that's a good indication. When do you feel hungry again? Because I think if your food's still digesting, you're not really hungry. And something like pizza, or let's say you have like you go out and have one of those porterhouse steaks that's like 28 ounces or 40 ounces, these massive steaks and mashed potatoes with butter and, you know, tons of carbs and real fatty food like that. That fills you up for a very long time. I'm not hungry for a good 4 hours. I'll force myself to eat again in 4 hours if 4 hours goes by, but I could go longer if I had to. I mean, I don't like to go longer than that. Man, yeah. I mean, a lot of our embarrassing gym stories, they're failed lifts. I've had so many failed lifts when I was younger, especially because in my 20s, especially, it's funny because I talk shit about the people who do it now, but I was the same way. I was always just trying to push the limits. How much weight can I lift today? I was always going for a new personal best, a PR, personal record. You know, if I did dips with 2 plates on me last time, you know, for 10 reps, 90 pounds, the smart thing to do would be try to do a couple more reps before you go up in weight. Or if you go up in weight, don't add like another 45-pound plate. Add like a 5 or a 10-pound plate. But genius me always had to go up like another 45-pound plate. Same thing with squats. If I could squat 315, the next time I had to at least put like quarters on. I would never go up in small increments like I should have, because I was impatient and I was a dumb kid. Guys, hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. Kevin Clements, I live in Miami, so gym culture here is just awful. Yeah, but you have all those hot Latinas. The last time I was in a commercial gym, 2019, before COVID, I was told by a famous fitness influencer on Instagram, you have to move. Yeah, you know, Joey Swole, who ignored my DMs, because he probably gets a million DMs a day. I just think he'd be a cool interview. His whole thing now is gym etiquette. He does all these posts on, you know, especially like if you're trying to film yourself and someone walks through, you know, it's a commercial gym. You can't be berating people and saying, bro, I'm trying to film myself. I'm trying to take pictures. You know, find a spot where people aren't walking by, or, you know, be discreet about it. You can't get mad if you're trying to tape your, like, you know, 40-pound cable push downs and somebody walks by in the background. But I see people blow up like that on Joey's Instagram all the time. He's always calling out people for that, so good for him. Too ugly and old for her Instagram post. Oh, so Kevin, she kicked you out of her background. Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't like make a post about how creepy you were because you weren't Chad and you weren't like 25 years old. Jihan Amroli Iran, if you're super hungry, you can eat 2 fat chicken cheese rolls and be hungry after 30 minutes. No. If you eat 2 fat chicken cheese rolls, when you say fat, I think you mean large. The only way you'd be hungry in 30 minutes is if you're like, you know, maybe you smoked a bunch of pot and you got the munchies. Sure. What's your workout split, Ron? Oh, easy, Hunter T. Push, pull, legs, off, repeat. So push is chest, shoulders, triceps. Did that yesterday. Today I did pull day, which is back, biceps, and rear delts. So when I do shoulders, I don't do rear delts. I really just do side delts and presses. I don't do anything for front delts. I don't isolate them. And then tomorrow's legs. So push, pull, legs, off, repeat. I've been doing that for like 3 years now. I love it. I don't think I'll ever go back to the bro split, you know, like 1 body part a day. If you love that split, by all means, whatever split you like and works well for you, it ain't broke, don't fix it. Kevin again, I was in her photo from where I was, but man, I hate that about today's gym. Yeah. Every gym now, you're going to run into it unless it's like forbidden. I bet like Planet Fitness doesn't allow people to film themselves and stuff. I bet they don't, because they're very, very corporate. But most gyms now, you're going to see a lot of young people, especially, filming every little thing they do. You know, God bless them. If that's what gets them out of bed in the morning, if that's what gets them to the gym and working out, whatever. Kevin says, working out at home is great. Just sometimes a grandkid is around. That's okay. Hunter T. Yeah, you know, my wife works out at home. During COVID, we still have COVID, right? During the pandemic, when the gyms were shut down, we turned our kids, used to be our kids' playroom when they were younger, turned it into a home gym room. And for about a full year, most of it was taken up by like a multi-gym that my brother gave me. I had an older brother that had bought one of those, you know, things with like a lat pull down and a chest press. One of those multi-gyms. He had used it a couple times and had been sitting in his basement for, 20 years. So he was kind enough to disassemble it, drive it 2 hours to where I live, and help me put it together. And I used that for a good year. And that's gone. My wife hated it because she was trying to do her CrossFit type workouts. But now we have all kinds of dumbbells in there, bench, a really good stationary bike. It's funny because when she bought the bike, it was about 6 months before the pandemic started. And it was like a $2,000 bike. I think Rogue makes it, or I don't know. Anyway, one of the best stationary bikes you can get. And I was like, whoa, why'd you spend so much money? What a waste of money. We have a gym. We have gym memberships. And then, sure enough, 6 months later, you couldn't get to a gym. It's like, oh, all right. She definitely gets her use out. She still uses it. Yeah. So back to the split. Yeah, you can do a bro split. Whatever you like, chest one day, back another day, shoulders, arms, legs. I like to work out. I like to train everything a little more frequently. So every body part on a push-pull leg split, if you take an off day, every body part is worked every 4th day. you don't do as much for each body part. Like if I was doing just the chest day, I would do a lot more. But because I'm doing chest, shoulders, triceps, I really pick like 3 chest exercises and do, 4 work sets. Shoulders, I'll usually just do 3 exercises, usually some type of lateral, an upright row, and a machine press. And then triceps, like 3 different movements. Let's see. I'm reading all the stuff that's held for review if I don't think there's anything horrible about it. So Jehan Amrola says, Greg Valentino says, there's always a girl filming herself doing abs and I'm in her background and I effing don't want to be there. Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to move. Yeah, that's another thing is that's a reason a lot of gyms don't allow people to film. It's because it's an invasion of privacy. If you're in their shot and they post it and you didn't give them permission, all of a sudden, some people love their privacy. They don't want to be on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok or whatever platform these people are putting these on. So they get upset, and rightfully so if they're in the background. So that's another reason. Squilly McFadden, I don't smoke weed anymore, but when I did, overdid it before the gym. I got there and straight fell, missing the bench and lock. Could have been more embarrassing on the floor. I smoked a couple times in my life before the gym, just because everyone's saying, "Oh, you got to try it. It's you focus better and this and that." Banged my what's the front of your ankle? The instep. Banged my shin. Yeah, my shin on like the bottom of a weight tree so bad it was bleeding and there was a huge bruise. Just because I was like coordination was off. I thought everyone was looking at me. I thought everyone knew I was high. I probably smelled like weed. So that was years and years ago. I would never do that again. I don't know how people. I get a lot of people do it. I guess they've got it down to a science. But for me, it was always really awkward and I felt paranoid. And my coordination was off. It just, maybe if you're doing really lightweight and squeezing and just trying to get a pump, maybe that would make more sense. But if you're trying to actually move heavy weights and stuff, for me, being high was never, didn't mesh well with that. Hunter T, I'm training my 2 nephews in my home gym. One's 18, the other's 16. I'm trying to teach them the proper way to train to get them started on the right track. Good, I'm glad because people need guidance. Sometimes they get all their information from other uninformed people that they see online on Instagram doing things wrong, or YouTube. Endless Gaming, welcome back, Endless. You're always on these lives. Appreciate that. Well, I just trained 2 weeks, no day off, till I was so brain dead. I asked the guy next to me, where's the easy bar, which is actually right in front of me. Oh, I mean, when your brain's fried, I've done things like can't find my phone and I'm holding it the whole time, Yeah. Man. Yeah, I mean, I feel like an obligation. I mean, that's why I try to help people with knowledge, what I've learned, because I made a lot of stupid mistakes when I was coming up in training and all that. I try to help people avoid making the same dumb mistakes I did. The problem is there's so much information now, but a lot of it's incorrect information because anyone can present themselves as an expert on social media. Anyone. There are like 18-year-old kids out there that are coaching. They're prepping people for shows. They're writing up diets. They're 18 years old. They just learned how to wipe their own ass, and now they're a coach. Man. Here's a good story from Truth. Hooked up with a girl from my gym. Didn't end well. Still had to see her at the gym for a couple months. Awkward as hell. Yeah, that's why they say never to mess with people you work with, because you're going to have to see. That would be worse because you have to go to work every day. And you're going to see them at work. The gym, you could try. If it's really bad, you could figure out what time they go and you could try to avoid them, I guess. Yeah. Rafael Kaiser, once I ripped my pants during leg press. Everybody heard it ripping, but I still continued my workout. That's not too bad. I mean, you didn't shit your pants. You didn't let out a huge fart or anything. Hunter T, I got too paranoid when I smoked in the gym. I thought everybody was looking at me. Yeah. I mean, that's a problem, isn't it? You're trying to focus on your workout and you can't because you're like, they know I'm high. They know I'm high. I'd be putting Visine in there, and still, I was like, oh. Yeah. I know a lot of people love to smoke. They feel it enhances their workouts. For me, it was just, it made them so much worse. David M., my 15-year-old brother already has a full beard. Do you think he'll grow like a weed if I start teaching him how to train with weights? I don't know if that's an indication, the facial hair. An indication of like his genetic potential for bodybuilding or how muscular he's going to get. It just means he's going to be a very hairy person. I mean, you could be, I've seen, I'm married to a Latina, so I've seen plenty of like little scrawny Latino kids with mustaches. And they look anorexic. I don't think they have any great potential for bodybuilding. They just happen to be, they hit puberty very early, very young. Truth, exactly. Yeah, never again did I hook up with a girl from the gym ever again. Not worth it all. There's a few guys at my gym that have hooked up with like every girl in the gym. And I don't think it's not awkward for them. I just think they don't care. They just don't care. Let's see. Gabriel Ribeiro. Hey from Brazil. Bom dia. Sao Paulo. I've been working out since the beginning of the year. I was 52 kg and now 60 kg. 7% body fat. I'm 1.73 centimeters or 173 centimeters. I don't know the metric system, but 8 kilograms is about 2.2. It's about what, 18 pounds of muscle. So congratulations. That's a great job. Keep it up. What's your weight now? Hunter T? Because you look really lean. When I wake up in the morning before I eat and after I take a good dump, it's about 216, 217. Toward the end of the day, 219, 220. I really do need to lean out a little bit more. I look my best, and this is only for summer, and I still have the goal. I'm going to do a photo shoot with a buddy of mine. If you follow my Instagram, Ron Harris Muscle, I post a lot of, like, any professional pictures of myself that I post. A lot of them I'll say photo by Big Dog Photo. He's just a friend of mine named Steve Mark, a guy who sells furniture for a living and a photography on the side, but he does a really good job. Some of his work. You know, I was able to get 2 articles. I got one full feature in Ironman magazine using his photos and one full feature of Muscle Mag. And if I know I can, I shouldn't say if, I'll get in really good shape within a month or so, have a photo shoot, and maybe write an article about training for the old fuddy-duddy, the old bastards for MD, something like that. Jihan Amroli, a couple days back, I misbalanced and flipped the bar, removing plates from one side. Yeah. People said it could have hit my head. Super loud noise, and gym owner came asking for who did it. Yeah. When you're loading a bar and you see it all the time. It's so noisy. If you're like unloading a bar, say you're doing squats and there's like 3 or 4 plates and you're not thinking and you unload all one side, it's going to flip over and crash. I've had that happen to me before, and I go, wasn't me, or something, but it was me, obviously. Truth, if you're still competing today at your current weight, would you try to earn your pro card in classic or bodybuilding? It would probably be bodybuilding. For me to get the classic weight for my height now, because I'm under 5'8", I think it's 184, 182, 184. For the NPC, I would have to get down to 184. So if I'm like about 218 now, do the math, I'd have to drop another, oh God, I'm horrible at math. 25 pounds? I don't think I have 25 pounds to lose. Yeah, a lot of, I sound like a bitter, salty bastard when I say this, but I know guys who are my age that were not very good bodybuilders. They couldn't place for shit. And if they did open classic, they'd get killed. But they found Masters Pro Qualifier shows and they got in good shape. They were lean, but some of these guys were missing like whole body parts. Like they had no legs, no back, nothing classic. They didn't have pretty shape or anything like that, but they lucked out and they turned pro in classic. So it would be, I don't know if it would be easier. It all depends on who shows up that day, but I'm done. I have to realize my body's not what it used to be. My midsection has grown. It's never going to go back small. It's never going to be small again. My shoulders are not as big as they used to be, so it's a double whammy. If your midsection got bigger and your shoulders got smaller, there goes your V-taper. Now you look like a block. You look like a mailbox. Hunter T, when I was young, I was told if I shaved and grew a beard faster, it didn't work. Yeah, that's a myth. If you shave, that the hair grows back fast. There's so many myths that we were told as kids. Kevin did the math for me. 34 pounds. Yeah. Could I do it? Could I get down to that weight? Yeah, but I'd be, I can't imagine how shitty I would look at 182. I'd be shredded, but the amount of muscle I would lose, what would I look like at that weight? I don't think it would be maybe my midsection will go down, but I'm not going to find out. I have no interest in losing 34 more pounds. Oof. Samson, 12321. They should judge classic on the shape of the person, not weight. They judge what's in front of them. If you have 5, 6 guys, say like it's a classic, say it's over 50 classic at, I don't know, Masters Nationals or North American or something. Say there's like 6 guys up there, none of them have a pretty physique. None of them. They're all just failed bodybuilders. You got to pick one of them as the winner. So, yeah. Or if some guy has awesome shape and everything, but he's not lean, you can't let that guy win just because he's got gifted shape. What's your thoughts, Kingdale Clark? What's your thoughts on Rich Froenig's physique? I haven't seen Rich in years, but I used to write his column for Fitness RX for Men. He was a CrossFit Games champion, the fittest man in the world for 3 or 4 years in a row. Very, very athletic, very, very, very good physique. I'd love to have a physique like that, you know. Wide shoulders, small waist, good arms. King Dale Clark again. What's your thoughts on people who think women only wear tight leggings to the gym to get attention? Are they right? No, they can dress whatever they're comfortable wearing, but if they're wearing like booty shorts where like half their ass is hanging out, they're looking for attention. You know, it looks like a bathing suit bottom. You know, I'm literally like the bottom half of the ass, the glutes, whatever is, you can see it. You could grab it. No, don't grab it. Please don't do that. You'll get in big trouble, guys. But yeah, if someone's like half naked, just like a little sports bra and like what looks like a bathing suit bottom, yeah, I mean, come on. They're not there just to train. They just want the guys to drool over them. You'd feel El Crapo. Jehan Amrola Ron, can you bring on Alex Matrevsky, Kikl, Macedonian King? I don't know who that is, so no, I'm sorry. If I've never heard of the person, I know they're not going to get any views. I try to get views on the videos I do, guys, and it's not easy because I don't do the gossipy videos. I don't report all the breaking news when it's like, oh, Chris, I don't do these reaction videos like Nick Trigilli does. Like, Chris Bumstead says he's only on 2 compounds or only 200 milligrams. I leave that stuff alone, and I'm missing a lot of views, unfortunately. But when I do interviews, I try to make it with people that have some kind of following so people would watch it. E36, blah, blah, blah. It's weird. Blew out my L5 S1 disc when squatting 540 my 3rd rep. I was 19 years old, trying to be a badass when I was cycling, thought I was Superman. Yeah, that happened to me, squatting. It happened, I think it was when I was a moron. The first year I was on drugs was 97, and I was always trying to squat more and more weight. I did 7 plates for a few shitty reps, not going all the way down. I said it. I'm not trying to say I did full reps with it, guys. Don't get your panties in a bunch. But I think I tried 8 plates, and I went down and disc blew right the F out, right there. I was on my back like in agony, could not move on the gym floor for a good half hour. They're like, "You want us to call an ambulance? You want us to call an ambulance?" Like, no. Eventually, with some help, I managed to get to my feet. Got home out of the gym. I was at the chiropractor icing. But yeah, I used to do dumb shit like that all the time. Truth, you had a very classic look when you were in your prime, 2002. Yeah, I mean, my best classic look, if I go back and think about it, was like the last year. I started steroids at the end of 96, but in 95 was my peak as a natural bodybuilder. I looked really good for a natural guy. Very small waist. I had a great V-taper, flaring quads. I should have just used low doses of gear. If there had been a classic division, I would have used low doses and just built some more size and fullness and kept those proportions. And I think I would have done pretty well in classic. I'm not saying I was going to be a Bumstead or anything. No. But I would have been pretty good. But I ruined my midsection. Let's see. Kingdale Clark, thanks for your answer, brother. And again, with women wearing tight clothing in the gym, what steps should one take to make sure they don't get reported for being some sort of pervert? I mean, you can't really stare at them. Don't stare at them. Yeah, they'll bust you and they'll report you because you're being a pervert. Because I know it sounds crazy to think that a woman would come to the gym like half naked and get upset that men are going to stare. We can't help it. We're wired to look at pretty women. It's wired into our brains in the womb. But you can't stare. Unless you're like a Chad, unless you're like a guy they really find very attractive, everyone else is a creep who stares at them. And do not approach them. Do not talk to them. You're a creep. They'll get very upset. Unless you're a Chad, then they'll be giggly and like, oh. If you're a really good-looking tall guy, you can get away with a lot of stuff that the rest of men could never get away with. I've known guys who were like that, Chads, good-looking ladies' men. The stuff they said to women sometimes in front of me, I was like, oh my God. And the women would just like laugh. But if it had been anyone else like me, they would have been like horrified. Anyway. Jehan, I'm rolling. Alex Kiekel is a prep coach, completely underrated. Yeah, I've never heard of him. I'm sorry. Biohacking expert. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. Not embarrassing story, but pre-workouts background. So you took one, I think. Yeah, a lot of the old pre-workouts, especially if they had a lot of creatine in them, they would make people, Greg Valentino used to write about the creatine blast all the time. Kevin Clemens, Ron, do you think Classic might be more popular in a few years, like than Open? Yeah, for sure. Think about, look at Bumstead's following. Look at, these other guys, Ruffin, Logan, Urs, Ramondino, Horse MD. These guys have huge followings. Rami still has a big following. There's a couple other Open guys, like Blessing. But the Classic guys are definitely, they have the youth. The young guys, that's what they aspire to. That's who they follow. That's who they want to emulate. They don't want to be Rami. They don't want to be, I shouldn't say they don't want to be Nick Walker. A lot of young guys do follow Nick Walker and Regan and Hunter, but the classic definitely has a much larger audience with the youth, much more appeal. Let's see, Samson, women do the same thing in regard to staring, yet men do not react negatively like they do. Yeah, it's a double standard. What are you gonna do? Kingdale Clark, thanks, brother, because the other week it was so tempting. I didn't look because it would have been so obvious. I just finished my set, moved from the area. It's hard, I know, but you can't. You see a beautiful woman at the gym, especially if doesn't have a lot of clothing on. She's got a great body. You're drawn to it. You want to stare, but you can't. It's just, this is where we are. It's not the right thing to do. We'll get in trouble. They get creeped out. They get offended. And it's the last thing you want to do is them to go up to the manager or the owner and say, this guy's harassing me. He's staring at me. You don't want that. You don't want that reputation as a pervert or the creep, especially if you're older like me. I have to be super careful not to look because I'm old enough to be most of these girls at my gym that dress like that. I'm old enough to be their dad for sure. So it'd be even worse if I got busted staring at them like that creepy old dude with the glasses. He's a creep. Let's see. Sandhu Sab the Jet. Hello, sir. That's how I know you're from India. They always start with sir. Want to add Anadrol this time, 30 days. Any advice for safety? No, there's no safe way to do Anadrol. It's very toxic to your liver. Just don't do it for more than 30 days. A lot of you guys don't want to do shots. You want to do these oral only cycles. They're horrible for you. They're much worse for you, trust me, than injecting Test, Deca, whatever, even Tren. Better than taking Anadrol, Dianabol, even like Anavar, Winstrol, the ones that you think are safer. They're still messing up your liver values and all that stuff. And they'll still shut down your natural testosterone. Bo Lewis has the best genetics of all time. If you know, then you know. Axion, hello, sir. You must be from India, too. I'm a 16-year-old, 170 pounds. I started working out last year, 140. Congratulations. Now, summer's coming. It's really hot, and I don't know if I should work out or not. I don't want to lose weight. Why would you stop working out? Just eat more. Eat more, drink plenty of water. That's the only reason you lose weight if you didn't keep yourself hydrated. If it's hot out, you got to drink a lot more water. Eat more food. You won't lose it. Not R. Kelly. Good. I don't know if this counts. Embarrassing. But I was bench pressing lightweight one day. Then one big dude was next to me and he went way over what he could lift. Acted like my weight was heavy to make him feel better. Yeah. It's funny. It's not really embarrassing. You shouldn't be embarrassed. Kingdale Clark. Imagine a scenario if one did get reported for being a pervert and the owner of the gym had a word with you and several others are there. I can't imagine how uncomfortable that would be. Yeah, it would be terrible. And I would never want that reputation as a creepy guy who's like staring at women and making them feel uncomfortable. Especially, I have a daughter who's 28, and she's dealt with plenty of unwanted attention. I know what that's like from talking to her about it. Yeah, not R. Kelly. Always be respectful of the gym. Women are beautiful. Keep it at that. Yeah. Sandhu Sub the Jet. I'm adding test and anthe. Guys, we're not talking about steroids right now, but you always want to talk about steroids. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of times if I find the Instagram for these guys are asking me about steroids, they look like they've never even lifted a weight. That's why I say you should have some muscle. You should look like you work out before you take steroids. If you look like you've never touched a weight in your life, eat, train, sleep, get some muscle on you, then add some steroids. I just don't like seeing people that look like they've never lifted a weight yet and they're already talking about Anadrol and Tren and all this. Superman Unchained is watching right now. Champ, I will support you on your channel. Thank you, Superhuman Unchained. Kevin Clements, Ron, I'm 62. I think I might need TRT. My doctor, even at my age, doesn't want me to start. Get another doctor or go to a Frontline Alternative. Search him on Instagram, Frontline Alternative. It's a TRT clinic. Andre Miller runs it. Ronnie Coleman uses them. They'll hook you up. If your doctor's not, you know what? Your doctors work for you. If they're not giving you the right service and treatment, find another doctor, because there's no reason you should have to look and feel less than your best because your doctor's freaked out. Oh, testosterone is going to give you prostate cancer. It's going to give you. A lot of them are living in the past. They're so uninformed, so misinformed. They're ignorant about TRT. Legitimate TRT is healthy if it brings you to normal levels. I'm not talking about blasting steroid cycles. I'm talking about people who no longer make enough testosterone on their own, maybe because you're older, maybe because you abused steroids for many years like me. TRT is just like 100 to 200 milligrams a week. It varies, guys. It's not the same. Some of you seem to think it's always the same. It's not. It's whatever the doctor determines through a few different blood panels after administering different doses. They get you at a dose that keeps you like a high normal range. Let's see. You're not from India? Kosovo. That is Croatia? Where's Kosovo? Bosnia. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't, sir, you know, when you say sir, you're being polite, so I shouldn't make fun of anybody who's being polite. Sorry about that, dude. Liam James, question I have now is, how can I progress weekly with pyramid sets, for example? I do lightweight to moderate to heavy, and then do drop sets in every week. Do I increase the weight? Yeah, you need to try to just incrementally a little bit more weight. You know, say if you can do, your top set is 100 pounds for 8 reps. Next week, try to do 9 reps. Try to do 10 reps week after that. When you can do more than 12 reps, then you increase the weight. Straight Cody shots fired at you. Yeah, straight Cody over in Thailand. I mean, he looked like he never touched a weight. I'm sorry, I'm being honest. And then he was taking 5 grams of testosterone. He was doing 700 units of insulin and wound up in the hospital. Thank God the young, I'm going to call him a kid because he looks like he's in his 20s. Thank God he's okay. He could have easily, insulin, you could die. When you overdose on insulin, people die. It's called insulin coma. Straight Cody, thanks for answering. Lots of love and respect. Quint Beastwood, AQ Uriah, it's the best genetics, no class act, tiny joint, slim, dominant, will be a threat to win all. Yeah, he looks great, Quint Beastwood. Thanks, Ron. Forgot the gear questions. Thoughts on class? Forget the gear question, says JR. Thoughts on classic up in the weight limit to allow guys like Urs not having to go open. Urs staying classic for now, but mention a flip to open due to weight limits. Yeah, but if that happens, it won't be for another couple of years. It's not like he's going to have to go to open like next year. He still had a good 10 pounds to play with the last time he competed. He wasn't at the limit. No, if you keep upping the limit in classic, what's the point of having classic? What's the point of having a weight limit if you're just going to keep upping the weight limit? No, I mean, I think the limits are fine. And if they can't make the weight, you know, Breon has had it. Breon Ansley, 2-time Olympia champ, 3-time, 2-time. He's had a hell of a time getting to weight, and he still managed to do it over and over again and still look fantastic. You know, no, I don't want to see the weight limits keep going up and up, because then what's the point of having weight limits in classic if everyone's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger? The whole point was to cap it so that we're focusing on aesthetics and condition, flow, symmetry, presentation, instead of just big. That's open. That's for the guys who just want to run with it and push the limits and get big. DJ Leader, brother, just don't wear your glasses when you're at the gym. You won't be able to see the sexy ladies. I can't see shit without these. I mean, I can see blurry. Like, I can't even read your questions on the screen. I have to go like right up to the computer screen. Yeah, but I have to, it drives me nuts when I can't see what's going on at the gym. I just have to know what's going on. King Dale Clark, back to lady question. What do you do if you hear a male personal trainer, Jim, make sexual jokes about female client he's training? Is it worth reporting it? No, I mean, eventually it'll bite him in the ass sooner or later. If he's talking to multiple people, it's going to get back. Somebody's going to talk about it. It's going to get back to her eventually, probably. And then he's, you know, that's very unprofessional. Shouldn't be making sexual jokes about a client of yours. Come on, this woman's paying you. Very unprofessional. Axion from Bosnia. Is 100 kilogram bench, which is 220, 120 kilogram squat, 150 kilogram deadlift. I know it should be better. Good for a 16-year-old, 6'2", 171 year training. I'm not into, I don't really deal with all that. Is this much weight good for lift? if you're getting stronger and stronger, you're doing great. Don't worry about what someone else lifts. Unless you're going to be a power lifter, in that case, you need to know, because you're going to be competing against people in an age or weight class, and you're going to have to wonder, is this enough weight to be competitive? Otherwise, just don't worry about it. Just keep working on yourself, get stronger, keep improving, and you're winning, kid. Don't worry about that. King Dale Clark, what's your thoughts on women who find a big bodybuilder disgusting? Say we never date them, etc. Is it shallow? Are they entitled to their opinion? Of course they're entitled to their opinion. You know, we're all shallow. We're all shallow. You know, would I date, I know I'm married, and I'm just being hypothetical. Would I date a woman that doesn't work out, that's all flabby? Nope. Would I date an obese woman? No. I'm just not attracted. You're attracted to what you're attracted to. Whatever you like, you like. It's not under your control. It's how you're wired. So if a woman truly finds a big bodybuilder guy disgusting, oh well. There are women that love that look. You know, trust me, I've seen plenty of these big freaky guys and some of them that were single when they wanted to be, always had hot women around, always. So there's definitely a group of women that do prefer that look. But a lot of women like skinny guys. A lot of women, I don't think anybody likes like short, fat guys, but people like what they like. You can't, there's no explaining. A couple more questions, and then I got to go eat. Lenny Jr., I once farted while leg pressing 1,000 pounds. My friend was spotting me, said, no worries, keep going. Oh, I'm sure we've all farted during a leg press. King Dale Clark, the reason I asked the male personal trainer to make sexual jokes is I've overheard this myself. It was when his client was doing squats. You can probably imagine what it was like, at least. Yeah, that's not cool. Not cool at all. Actually, I finally found someone I can ask questions to. I've been trying to find someone who's a pro, and I got a lot of questions. I hope that doesn't bother you. It doesn't, but I'm going to leave because I need to eat. I eat every 2 hours. My meal times are very, very regimented. There are many Laurel and Hardy combinations. Yeah, it's talking about like opposites attract. Yeah, at the gym. Thanks for answering. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. It is Friday, so have a great weekend. It's summertime, my part of the world anyway. Go out and enjoy the Mother Nature and all that good stuff. Go to the beach if you can get to the beach. Yeah, sorry, Sandu. I'm done with the advice for today. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Share the video. Like the video. Leave some comments. I'll get back to them all. I promise you. And, of course, hit the notification bell so you know when we have new videos. Appreciate you watching. Have a great weekend, guys. Love you all. Bye-bye.